Okay, this afternoon we're back at the project we were at yesterday. Gave you a brief little snippet. That's basically because I ran out of space on the cell phone. I forgot my SD card for the camera. You know, newbies. Anyways, I'll give you a quick look here and see what we're doing. If you look, we installed the washing machine box. We've got our 18 inches of drop right here. We went around, we're coming back through a 2-inch drain pipe back down. This is our vents. We run across, we're picking up here, we're picking up the kitchen sink that's right here. Then we're running back, going up again with this vent over here. So there's a continuation of a vent all the way through. We're going to come, this is our supply line coming in for our water. It comes up and tees off, feeds the washer box, the shower, and the bathroom over there. The hot water line will come back down here somewhere and connect in here. We're not that far yet. We're going to get this line here up through the roof or through the ceiling. We're going to go across to the other side where the water heater will sit over there somewhere. I'm not really sure on the location of that yet, but I'll at least get the tubing through the wall, so this is out of the way and done. I'll probably come back with a 1/2 inch back to here to feed the rest of the house for the hot water side. And we do that for mainly one reason and one reason only. If we ran from over there on a 3/4 inch water line up and over and back down to this point, that meant the shower has to drain that line completely out of its water, plus the line that runs through the floor before the hot water starts to flow. So if we could run a smaller line, you're not draining as much water. You get faster hot water that way. That's one of the reasons a lot of the hot water is now on manifolds. And it's because it's a quicker recovery, you're not wasting as much water. A little tip there, so when you're looking to conserve water, that's one of the ways you can do it, is to go with a 1/2 inch water line to the water heater or coming off of it directly to where you are. It's called the home run system. It would be nice to do it here, but we don't have that capability here to do that, so we're doing what we can. I've used a combination of expansion. These are expansion joints here. They have an expansion tool that spreads out the PEX it has an outer ring on it. That outer ring is always trying to crimp it down, as well as the PEX that would go onto that. And the tube sets all the way over the top of it, and the expansion ring is always contracting, and it's a very safe, very manageable fitting, and they don't leak. So then we went over to a little combination. We're using a brass crimp for these the 1/2 inch, and simply because it's convenience. They're a little bit cheaper. Each one of those brasses is a little bit cheaper than the expansion ring, so we're thinking along cost-cutting lines that way. But all of them work. All of them are good. Even the push fit SharkBite style is an excellent connector. There are a lot of controversies out there on it. People talk bad about the SharkBite style push connect. They work as a compression style, and there's an O-ring inside them, and if it's done correctly, it'll last 30 years. You know, so a lot of the connections are based on how you do apply them. The SharkBites are great because they're a homeowner type of fitting. As long as you can cut it straight and push it together, you'll lock it in place. Great for transition from copper to PEX, or from CPVC to PEX, that works fantastic. Or even CPVC to copper. The other type of fitting that I use and I really like is the brass, or the copper and brass crimp ring. That is where it crimps the O-ring and the fitting onto the copper itself. It's fantastic looking, looks very professional, gives a very long-lasting look. Again, it is only as good as the fitting is put together, because it is an O-ring, and regardless of what they tell you, it is still, the pressure is still maintained by that O-ring. So if you do something to cut that O-ring, don't deburr, don't clear, don't chamfer the ends of your fitting, you could tear it and it won't work. So all of them have pluses, all of them have minuses. Everything's going away from the soldering of the copper tubing, mostly because the engineering has gone away from that. It's quicker, it's safer. Most of the new construction homes were burned down because of plumbers and torches and copper. So this is a newer technology, something that's been created in the last, truly, in the last 20 years, things have really developed. So this is, this PEX tubing now is, it will take freezing, where copper does not. It expands 3 times its normal size. It is legal everywhere, so if they tell you it's not legal in your state, that's not true. It is the preferred standard anymore, especially in the climate where you're going to have freezing and thawing, cold temperatures, or any kind of atmospheric conditions that would affect the copper. This will take care of that. This is a PEX A, so it's just A, B, and C are different classifications of PEX. Does not mean that A is better, B is better, or C is better. It's just the way that they're manufactured. Class A is fun, and when they bring it out, they're spinning it out of the machine, out of the extruder machine, in 2 directions. So the tubing is always trying to come back to its normal size. You can kink PEX tubing, good PEX tubing, you can kink it and heat it back up, and the kink will be gone. Try to do that with copper. So it's very versatile, it's very, very forgiving, and very easy to work with. You can do things that you could have never thought you could have ever done quickly with any other kind of means or anything. All tubing has its place and a purpose. So I predominantly use PEX. One of the questions I saw yesterday was, how do you know which ones are hot, which ones are cold? Well, from a contractor point of view, this is just from my point of view, it is far more economic for me to stock the clear PEX and just label each piece hot or cold. There is red and blue out there that's available. It works. It does exactly the same thing, but now you're adding another layer of things I have to carry with me. So it's great to have the opportunity to use the red and the blue when you can, but in this circumstance, clear PEX works fantastic. Comes in straight sticks, or you can buy it in coils. This is a coil of 3/4 inch right here. It comes in a coil. This one happens to be 300 feet. Less than that in now, but you can get 300, you can get 100, 300, and 500, and I believe they make a 1,000-foot roll. And that is, it's so much easier to use one roll and do it that way. Just label it, just take a marker, mark on the end of it, hot or cold and run it. Once it's buried in the wall, nobody will ever see it anyways. And, you know, pretty much you'll know which ones are which by running the water. You'll feel the heat or you not feel the heat. So there you go. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to drill a hole up through here from up there down, so I can get my 3/4 inch water line up through there. And then I will attach these two vent pipes to my vent pipe going out. Our vent pipe here is going out the gable end. We do that for two reasons. The first of which, it's always easier to go out the gable end. We do in the northeast where we're at, we have a lot of snow. So it's not uncommon that we would get 18 to 20 inches of snow on a roof. Now, this is a metal roof. So as the metal roof warms up, the snow slides off. When the snow slides, it usually breaks off the vent pipes, or it bends them over, or whatever. It does damage. Anytime you penetrate a roof, you run the risk of having a leak. So if your flashing, your vent boot is not put in at the time that they do the roof, you're running a bigger chance of having a leak. So my preferred method is out the gable end. It works the same. You're still going as high as you possibly can, come out, and then you make a 45 on the end, and everything's happy. So let me get the step ladder over. I'll get this drilled. Feels like there's a nail right there. We'll get a nail leader in there. Smaller bit. Auger it out a little bit. See if we can get through there. It's a Milwaukee M18 half-inch drill. Alright, we'll rim it out a little bit with the other one. Alright, we'll give it a try. See how that works out. Working with the coil is fairly simple. You want to give yourself plenty of loop. Get down through the point that you're trying to get through, if we can get through that hole yet. We have to ream out a little bit more. Okay, we're back through the hole. I'll just pull this down now. Pull it down where the need to be. And that's going to be our cold feed to the water heater. I'll get a marker, get that marked, and be right with you. Okay, I brought in my marker. So we're going to label this line as 2 water heater. Mark it as a feed. And that's just with an inexpensive Sharpie. What we're going to do now, I did bring in my Milwaukee expansion tool. This is an M12. It has a 3/4 inch head on it. And we're going to expand this tubing simply to slide it over that fitting. So what we're going to do, we're going to take and you fit over there. They come with stops now, so the stop will stop it to where it's supposed to be. You put your tool in, unlock it, that helps. Put the tool in, and as you can see, it expands the fitting. You run it all the way down. Give it a couple turns there. The warmer it is inside, the faster they close. So we'll set that down. We'll slide it to the stop on the fitting. We'll just hold it there for a second or two just to ensure that it gets to where it's supposed to be. I'm going to go up and pull some of that up. Then we will secure that with a couple of the talons. These are a multi-tube talon that I use. It clips over the tubing with the nail, and you secure it that way. Let me grab my hammer. Slides over the pipe. And you secure it to the side of the wall. And we will do all of these as we get there. It's a very simple process. It just clips on and you tack it up. Usually takes 2 hands. There we go. I always want to go into the center of the stud, as close to the middle as you can. That way when they are putting the drywall screws on, they're not penetrating your pipe, because that will cause a leak. With PEX, it will actually seal it for a while, and then eventually as things move, it'll leak a little bit, and a little bit more, and a little bit more. So you want to avoid that as much as possible. Alright, so now we've got that end of it accomplished. We're going to go and figure out where we need to go with our fittings up there. So I'll be right back with you. Okay, I brought you up to the other side over there, so you can see this is the vent pipe that we're working on right here. I've measured it out. I dry fitted my pieces. As you can see, we're going up. We're coming out of the vent up here. Across this way, we'll be coming down into here, and then we're going this way. So all of our fittings, once we get up, our vent fittings will be backwards from what we would think are normal. So I'm going to disassemble here a little bit and reassemble as needed to put it all together. Which is nothing more than priming and gluing and all that good stuff. It's so important to make sure you use a primer. Breaks the glazing on the PVC itself, helps to ensure a good tight fit. In some locales, it is mandatory to use purple. Other places